Cold plunging, episode 3. We're going to pair cold plunging up with a little talk about routines. First off, the biggest issue with the cold plunge right now is the question of, have you done your research? Most people haven't. If you care about research, great, go read it. There's enough evidence and general consensus in the literature to support that cold plunging has both physiological and cognitive benefits. If you don't believe it, then you should step into a cold plunge and test it out for yourself. I'm only even doing the cold plunge, 1, to continue practicing these reps of getting the podcast out, but 2, this is actually a question I get daily from adults, from parents, from my friends. Should I do a cold plunge? How long do you do it? Which one should I buy? I don't know. I've bought 1 cold plunge. I use something called the Nerve Cover. It was $84. I fill it up with water. I put in Epsom salts. I put in basically a pH type cleaner, and I've used it for over a year now. So I'm going to go into my experience with it. Here's what I can tell you. If you live in an area where you have cold weather, great. It's perfect for outside. It's perfect for your garage. You don't have to worry about keeping this thing cold. If you're somewhere where it's hot, or if it's the summer, like for us in the Northeast, it's the summer right now, it is very difficult to keep this thing cold and clean, depending on where it is. So my suggestion, if you have the money, get something, or right now they have enough of the cold plunges that have an attachment to them to keep the thing cold. You're going to need it, because getting in water that's 60 degrees isn't a cold plunge. I can tell you this. The things that I've seen for myself is it makes me do something hard that I don't want to do first thing in the morning, and that sucks. I don't know about the benefits or the research to support this statement, but for me, doing that hard thing in the morning helped my whole day going forward. So that was part of my routine. I made it a routine because it was just, here's the one hard thing. Then I get a workout done. I've done the 2 hardest things of my day, hopefully for that day. If you're going to do it, my suggestion, start in water between 40 and 50 degrees and just go in for as long as you can handle, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Again, what is the research that you should do? It says you should go all the way in, fully submerged, up to your neck, and sit there for 3 minutes. And you need to get 11 minutes a week. That's, I think, a pretty standard consensus right now. Again, I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm not giving you like the actual research studies, but from my experience, 3 minutes seems to be, when I'm in, cold water between 35 and 38 degrees, that seems to be like the good, I can do this every day type thing. 5 minutes, sometimes I'm freezing cold till noon. That's just the way it is for me. For the summer, going back to the hot weather, the way I've been doing it, because this is a question I keep getting, is what do you do in the summer? I put cold water in the plunge. I put ice in it in that moment. I let it get down to, for me right now, getting it under 45 is tough, even with a lot of ice. It's a big tub. And I sit there between 3 and 5 minutes in the summer, but I just don't do it as consistently. So I'm usually in it 1 or 2 times a week. I'll still try to hit the 11 minutes, but it's more of an experience. I'm actually doing more sauna now than ever, which I will go into a different podcast about the actual sauna. Overall, with my experience and my thoughts, why do I like it? I like it because in my field, I have to be able to give recommendations. And giving recommendations on the cold plunge, I at least have over a year experience to say, hey, it works for me. The research supports it. Great. If you want to try it, do it. I would always go do your own, if you want to call it research, do it. But the cold plunging for me has been really good mentally. The energy thing I think is a little bit real. I don't feel it every time for sure, though. I feel good when I get out, but I think I more so feel good that I just did the hard thing, like I talked about earlier. And then what's your routine? So I'm going to go into routines and habits and all of these things in the future, but why I bring this up with the cold plunge is I think we're just missing this routine type thing in our life where it's like, ooh, do I get in the cold plunge? Ooh, do I work out today? Do I do this? Do I do that? My routine is this, and I'm just going to give you my routine, my current routine right now in life, and then you can take it for what it's worth. My routine, 4:30 wake up. 4:40, I'm stepping into a gym. 5:30, I'm driving to the sauna. 5:40, I'm in a sauna till 6. I get showered and ready at the gym. I'm home at my house at 6:15. If there's meals that need to get prepped still, I will prep those meals. Usually I'm programming for about an hour. Hopefully my kids will sleep until 7:15. So I get about an hour to do things I need to do. Most of the time it's work plus meal prepping combined. I go for a 20 to 30-minute walk with my family, drop my kids off. As soon as I get to work, usually I'm starting work, with a client by 9 a.m. 9 a.m. to 12 is usually train. And then, the admin front, desk stuff, all computer work, programming happens kind of midday-ish. That's also a time where we meet as a team, we talk about things, we go about stuff that needs to happen for the evening, for the next day, talking about clients that we share, whatever it might be. And then also try to hit an exercise snack at those times. So, for example, the other day, 5 minutes, went outside, just hit double unders for 5 minutes in the sunlight, came inside, did the reverse hyper, 5 minutes, got to 100 reps, that's it. Boom. That was my exercise snack, just to feel something midday. And then that's it. I train until about 6 or 7, depending on the day, with cleanup and everything else with the gym. Get home. I'm usually in bed by 8:30-ish. So that's kind of like the routine. And why do I put the cold plunge on there? Because the cold plunge was helping me get into a good routine. It's like I had to wake up, I had to get into this thing, and it just sparked my routine. So if I had to say anything about this cold plunge and routines to wrap the whole thing up, I think it works, but I think you need to try it. I think you need to try it for an extended period of time in different temperatures for different times. And I think for you, it might just help be one of those things where it just helps you get you into a good routine, and then you utilize the cold plunge whenever you need to. Again, not medical advice. I'm not telling you what to do. And at the end of the day, I know nothing.